What's up, everybody? Thanks as always for supporting the show. It would mean a lot to me if you would take a second to scroll down and hit that subscribe button to the Hoops Tonight YouTube channel, and then follow me on social media on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter so you guys don't miss any of our content over the course of this season. All right, let's talk some basketball.
So let's go back east to the Knicks. So I watched the entire game, Lakers-Knicks. Now, OG didn't play in Randle. But, I mean, the Lakers beat the Celtics without LeBron and AD. So Julius Randle shouldn't be the difference. I think Grimes was out. But my takeaway on the Knicks is this. First of all, I always thought Jalen Brunson was a 1A. Maybe he's a 1. 27 a game. I love his leadership, his IQ, his toughness. I think he's the best Knick since Ewing. Was never a huge Carmelo fan. Didn't give you anything on the defensive end. And a little bit selfish. Wouldn't step back and hit threes for years. He just got stubborn on the twos. So if Brunson's an A, I do believe you need a very strong 2. I think OG and Randle are 3s. Good 3s. And at the end of that game, if Brunson's not hitting, forget Randle. Because Randle would be slowed down by AD. He's not getting any cheap points. AD is the best low post defender in the game. And I look at the Knicks, and what I've seen, Jason, in the last 3 years with them is patience. And part of me is like, just go get a 2. And then part of me is like, no, that's the Knicks. You've been desperate. Amari Stoudemire. You always reach on people. Is there a player in the league, if not this trade deadline, next trade deadline? Because I think they need a 2. So address if you think the Knicks do. If Brunson's not hitting late like he wasn't against the Lakers, boy, they go dry fast. I mean, they go dry fast. Now, Randle didn't play, but I don't think OG or Randle are elite scorers per se. Is there a guy in the league that you say, you know what? I thought it was Karl-Anthony Towns. I was kind of in that for a while. Is there a guy that you would like for that role?
Patience is the perfect way to put it, because they could have jumped on Donovan Mitchell. And now it's one of those things where it's at the time of the trade, we didn't realize Brunson was this good. So like maybe internally they were like, Brunson's our guy. And maybe that was some of the reasoning behind it. But the point is waiting ended up being smart, because then Jalen Brunson popped and now they can kind of be more patient in terms of waiting for who that next guy is. I thought the OG Anunoby trade was genius, because it didn't waste any sort of super legitimate asset in terms of their pursuit of an eventual star. I think one of the reasons why that Laker game looked the way it did is the Knicks are very much like a physically imposing team. Like they are very much like a power, beat you up for 48 minutes, classic Tom Thibodeau type of team, right? And when you take OG and Julius out, they just become small really fast, especially with Mitchell Robinson out of the lineup because he's been injured, although he might come back before the end. But I mean, this won't come as any secret to anybody who's listened to you and me talk about this before, but we're both really high on Jalen Brunson. And I think yes. Jalen Brunson has entered into that conversation with the best guards in the league. Like I think he's just on that tier.
Yes,
we're on an extended stretch now where he, not only that, he's improving. And like to take it even a step further, look at the playoffs last year. He straight up outplayed Donovan Mitchell head to head and won a series. And he went to,
I think, frankly, Jason, I think he's a better player than Donovan Mitchell. He's not quite, I don't think he's quite, I shouldn't even say this anymore. I gotta get over this. I think he's a better leader. I think he plays with a very steady temperament. I know exactly what I get from Jalen Brunson every game I watch him. Donovan, I get stretches where he just like forgets his teammates. I think Brunson is a top, you can name it, but I think New York, loud. He's classic Villanova. Tunes out the noise, coachable, leader, grown up, defends. Like, I'm sorry, but I think he's terrific. I love him.
To Donovan Mitchell's credit, he's having the best season of his career as well. The Cavs are literally the 2 seed. He's having the best defensive season he's had of his career. So I want to give Donovan Mitchell some credit, but I agree with you. Jalen Brunson is a better basketball player than him. But then he also went toe-to-toe with Jimmy Butler. The reason why they couldn't beat the Heat last year was Julius Randle was a complete non-factor in that postseason run. Now, in his defense, he was hurt. He had hurt his ankle right before the playoffs and was pretty beat up throughout that playoff run. But to your point, the Knicks have already shown us they can make some noise with just Jalen Brunson. So you can imagine what a number 2 would do for them. Now, the question is who? The guy that I know that they've been waiting on is Joel Embiid. but I do get somewhat concerned about with his injury history now. Like here we are again with him with his knee struggling to make it through a regular season. But I think Joel Embiid is a guy they've had their eyes on. I think if the Lakers just absolutely like flounder this year, like just an absolute disaster end of the season, I put like a 5% chance that someone like LeBron could potentially either opt out of his deal this summer and sign there on like a mid-level exception, or opt in and do the James Harden where basically you opt in and ask for a trade and then try to do that. Because I look at LeBron James as basically, even at this phase of his career, just a way better version of Julius Randle, which kind of is a shoe-in fit to that position. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, but I think when it comes to the Knicks, patience has been the name of the game. Jalen Brunson has bought them the ability to be good while they wait for the right guy. But at the end of the day, there's no reason to jump at anything unless it is I wouldn't trade for a single guy unless he was better than Jalen Brunson. It literally is that simple to me.
Yeah, I think Brunson's the future of the Knicks. And there's a lot of people that are, you hear this. I think it was said about Jalen Brunson. He's a little guy. You don't win championships with little guys. And the NBA is getting bigger. I mean, there's a certain recent formula to size in the league. But I got to tell you, as the league gets younger, I think there's an increasing value in maturity and leadership. As the league gets younger, it's why LeBron is so valuable. And I think Tatum in New York, you can get lost in that city. I mean, that city beats guys up. Like if you're not, I mean, I remember guys like Jeremy Shockey. I mean, that's why Jeremy Shockey was a great New York Giant, just not ready for the city quite, right? If you go to the history of New York, go look at their stars. Jeter, Aaron Judge, Eli Manning. What's the theme? Go home, all about the sport, grown-ups with the media, good background, adult, relationships with family. It's funny. Jeter, close to his family. Eli Manning, Brunson's dad in the NBA, Aaron Judge. A lot of times they're small town guys. If you come to New York as a star, A-Rod, you're a big free agent, and you get all this expectation, it eats you up. Jalen's the opposite. Cast off for Dallas. All he has to do is prove stuff like Villanova. He is your classic. I mean, Eli Manning went to Ole Miss. Jeter struggled in the minor leagues. Who's Aaron Judge? He's from Fresno. New York has a prototype. You're a little overlooked, undervalued, good background, family college. I think the league's getting so young that these older players that can bring maturity to me, Jason, I mean, it's like I say about LeBron. It's like LeBron, it could be he's like a coach, general manager, star on the floor. He's thinking about who should I have relationships with? Who can I elevate? Who should be on the floor with me? I mean, he's thinking through every possession and every game. I don't know. I just can't say enough about Brunson. I think he is New York's next star. I love him. I think he's the best quarterback in that city.
To his credit too, like he signed up for this. Like the Mavs, it was a little different in the annual value, but the total contract value that the Mavs offered him was pretty close to what the Knicks offered him. He straight up said, I want it. I want the pressure. He signed up for what New York brought to the table, and he's not just thrived in that environment, he's completely exceeded expectations. We have a couple of big Knicks fans that help produce Hoops Tonight, and I talk with them about this behind the scenes. And it's crazy how that one singular signing transformed the entire landscape of the Knicks' future. Because they got, think about Jaylen Brown just signed a deal where in the final year he's going to make $70 million. Okay. And Jalen Brunson's making in the 20s, and he's giving you superstar production. It's crazy what that one move has done for that franchise.